move on to some other politics. And Kanu is scheduled to hold a National Executive Council meeting today to deliberate on the party's involvement in the affairs of the National Super Alliance. The meeting at the party headquarters here in Nairobi will be chaired by party chairman Baringo Senator Gideon Moi. Party Secretary General Nick Salat came under fire criticism from the party's National Executive Council members Zipporah Kitoni and West Pokot Senator John Lonyangapuo for declaring Kanu part of the NEC last Wednesday. Salat joined opposition leaders at Bomas of Kenya and announced that Kanu had joined NEC and that together with other like-minded parties, it was determined to remove Jubilee from power.
We do not associate ourselves with the sentiments that were presented by Mr. Salat. And I want to ask all our supporters can never be misled by those sentiments. Before the end of this week, leadership of Kanu, national leadership of Kanu will be meeting, and for which we will know what disciplinary measures will be meted upon this member who chose to go and speak his views, purporting to emanate from everybody.
All right, let's now link up with my colleague Timothy Otieno, who's following up keenly on that meeting, the National Executive Council meeting that's taking place today. Thank you so much, Timothy, for joining us. So talk to us about this meeting. Has it started? And what is the agenda for this meeting, well, apart from NASA?
Well, thank you, Betty. Of course, the meeting did begin about an hour ago, chaired by Kanu National Chairman and Baringo Senator Gideon Moi. But of course, we've also been able to see other politicians get into the building behind me that houses the party's headquarters. Of course, among them are nominated Senators Zipporah Kitoni as well as Ben Njoroge. I think, Betty, basically the key agenda is the issue of political alignments and realignments heading up into this year's general elections. Of course, you have mentioned that indeed the Secretary General for Kanu, Nick Salat, did appear with the leaders of CORD in the formation of NASA, but he had been disowned. And of course, the members here were saying that his stance in that particular meeting was a personal decision and not that coming from Kanu within itself. And therefore, perhaps the reason why this meeting is being held here today, the National Executive Council is supposed to discuss among other things, according to the Kanu Constitution, the formation or joining of other political bodies. So whatever outcome from this meeting that we are expected to hear from the members after they are done will perhaps give a clearer picture in regards to the trajectory in which the country's oldest party will be taking ahead of the August 8th general elections. And of course, the nature of the politics in the country as it is one that parties really need to come together. And of course, it's something that has been seen over the last general elections also in 2013, where really single parties were coming up together to form sort of coalitions to head into a general elections. And of course, Kanu will be keen to ensure that they don't stand out or stand alone heading into these coming general elections. Of course, we did see the formation of the Jubilee Party late last year. Last week, we did see what has widely been seen as the birth of the National Super Alliance. So which side of this political divide will Kanu seek to pull its members and its support? Today's meeting may go a long way in deciding that particular factor, Betty.
Have the party members, well, apart from Nick Salat, been warming up to the idea of joining NASA?
Well, of course, Kanu has really insisted, and of course, by its leadership, the chairman, you have seen several times a spat or a war of words between the Baringo senator and the deputy president. The latest one was witnessed during veteran politician Mark To's funeral just last week. And it has been a bad blood that has been seeming over a long period of time. And of course, the undertone or this backstories, of course, is the issue of being a political kingpin in the former Rift Valley region. Many believe the deputy president holds a lot of will and power, in that political power that is in that particular region, and one that the Baringo senator hopes to dethrone him from that position. And we've seen that play out in public rallies over a series of months right now. And of course, it's highly unlikely that we'll be seeing Kanu, of course, support the Jubilee Party ahead of the general elections. But the big question is, will they oppose the Jubilee Party as a single party, being Kanu, or will they decide to hold hands with other political parties in the formation of NASA and join NASA as a formidable opposition force? But of course, the meeting is still ongoing. Most likely, these are some of the issues that will come out of it as we even seek to find out this political war that has been taking place in the Rift Valley and which direction Kanu does take. And of course, its leadership led by the chairman and Baringo Senator Gideon Moi, as well as the Secretary General. Of course, one of the issues also that may be discussed is that decision by NEC Salat to join his colleagues in NASA that took place in Bomas last week. We have heard that it was a personal decision. Will he defend himself? Will he retract from that decision? The meeting is ongoing, and perhaps these are some of the issues that will be highlighted after the meeting has concluded, Betty.
Thank you very much, Timothy Etienne, for that update. Like he mentioned, we're keeping an eye on the developments at the National Executive Council meeting that Kanu is holding right now. All right, let's now